Ukraine has launched a massive drone attack on Russian aircrafts. The massive operation, codenamed Spiderweb, was in the works for over a year and a half and was greenlit by President Zelensky himself. According to officials, this is the most damaging Ukrainian drone attack of the entire war and is a significant setback for Moscow. The strikes, up to 4,300 kilometers deep inside Russia, have come on the eve of a fresh round of peace talks in Istanbul on June 2nd. Russian media is calling it Russia's Pearl Harbor. Ukrainian drones hit more than 40 Russian aircrafts, including Tu-95 and Tu-22 strategic bombers, which Russia uses to fire long-range missiles at Ukraine. The strikes also caused a huge blast in Severomorsk, one of the key cities of the Russian Navy, where nuclear-armed submarines are maintained. The strikes simultaneously hit 4 Russian military air bases and the naval base in Severomorsk. Russia's defense ministry has called it a terrorist attack across 5 regions.
This happens to be one of the biggest attacks by Ukraine on Russia in past 40 months of this war that has been ongoing. And 4 major air bases of Russia have been struck, and over 40 aircraft have been reportedly struck by these particular drone attacks. This is the improvised drone attack, which we can see that the trucks were used. In these trucks, the drones were stored, and from a very far away distance, Anjali, this kind of attack was inflicted onto Russia's air bases. And these air bases, which have the strategic aircraft that were being used for attack against Ukraine, have been attacked by Ukraine in this particular area. So Russia supposedly did not expect this kind of an attack from Ukraine amid the talks that were ongoing. And remember, last week only, there were attacks on Ukraine also from Russian side, and over 300 drones were flown from Russia. Around 12 to 13 lives were also lost in those attacks. So since 1 week, this happens to be one of the major attacks that seems to be an escalation from Ukraine. Russia is also expected to retaliate, Anjali, as we have seen through the war. But this kind of an attack, the attack using multiple drones, that too on the trucks, has been seen for the first time, and it has majorly impacted Russia. That's what it seems to be.
The sense is pretty clear. You see, Ukraine agreed to organize to start ceasefire a month ago. Russia didn't stop fire. They have been bombing us all this time. And this special operation was aimed at destroying those bombarders, those planes that launch missiles and also air bombs at our cities. It is not about killing someone. It is about preventing the risk for us to be bombed. As our intelligence service reported a couple of days ago, that numerous planes landed on this Olenya airfield in Saratov region, also in many others, and they all carried missiles and bombs. So in a couple of days, they were going to fire Ukraine with a variety of missiles, ballistic missiles, other types of missiles, also drones, and this was a prevention. This is the sense.
This indeed is. In fact, Russia is describing it as Russia's Pearl Harbor and the worst ever attack. Look at the extent of the air bases that have been targeted, from the Tu-22s to the Tu-95 to the A-50. Long-range strategic bombers to AWACS, 48 plus aircraft down in what Russia is describing as its Pearl Harbor. It just goes on to indicate that nature of warfare has completely changed. Drones, which just cost a couple of $1,000, can cost damage and cause damage for billions of dollars as far as Russia is concerned. And this is the most audacious attack that's taken place. Look at the manner in which all these containers, they had 50 drones each, FPVs or the first-person vision drones. They off remotely piloted, decimated the air bases, and then containers self-detonated. So very little evidence left. And the far corners of Russia, there have been targeted thousands and thousands of kilometers away from the Ukraine border. It just goes on to show how long this was planned and how well this operation was planned. The fact this war now is in a very, very decisive phase. Russia's counter-attack. This, of course, was in response to Russian drone strikes and missile strikes, but the Russian counter-offensive, it is feared, would be devastating on Ukraine in the hours and weeks ahead.